Hello, everyone.
Excellent.
Get the frogs out. Welcome to Happy Paper People. We are so excited to be with you tonight. We've been holding back, wanting to use all the fodder so that we could wait and do it with you. So, hi, Margie. First one in. Oh, Margie, she's so good. Subscribe, like, and enjoy. Yes, please. Please subscribe, please like, and please enjoy. And if you want extra content, become a member. Please be aware that we have opened our membership club on YouTube. The link is in the description box. Not only extra content, like behind the scenes video, but there will be private live Laugh and Crafts just with the membership club, private clearance sales just for the membership club, gifts that go out just for the membership club, different drawings, things like that. There's going to be so much stuff for the membership club. I'm so very excited about that. I really, really miss the group that we had on Patreon because we had so much fun. But it is just too much to juggle too many platforms. So I'm excited about bringing it all to YouTube and getting the opportunity to start that up again here. Margie is starting us off. I'm verklempt to Margie. She's starting us off with a super chat of $50. Thank you, Margie, for your support.
Wow.
And she was, of course, right in there on the membership club. So most definitely, she's going to be a part of that. It is so good to see you all. Hello, Christy. Glad you made it. I take it either you got the guys fed or you gave them food and then ran to the other room. Hello, Irma. It is good to see you. I like the little hand waving. That is so cute. Hey, Glynis. Hello. Oh, it's okay, Margie says. My sister. I want to take just a minute and bring to your attention, if you've never seen it before, or if you have forgotten about it, a reminder about the August Alphabet Challenge. You've seen some posts in the group, Happy Paper People in the Facebook group, with the alphabet. And we started on the 5th of August, and it goes through the end of the month. There is a letter of the alphabet for each day. And then the last day you post a picture with all of your items in the picture. The idea is that you create something using each letter of the alphabet. Now, when we do a daily challenge, really the goal is just to get us into our studios for 15 minutes. Just a chance to get your fingers into stuff and feel that creative outlet even for 15 minutes a day. However, if you haven't started it yet or you got behind because something happened, don't worry. It's not too late to catch up. It is not too late to catch up, but you need to get these posted in the group. And you can take pictures of A, B, C, D, E, whatever to catch you up, and then put all those photos in one post in the group and let us see what you're doing. So what you create is up to you. You could make a card. I could see some really cute cards made for specific people with their initials. Scrapbook layout. I've seen some cool scrapbook layouts with letters or initials. Art journal page, tags, journal cards, journal covers, doodles inside the letter, painting, cross stitch, you name it, whatever you want to do. There is no constraint on the type of art for you to use in this. And let me clarify something. Glynis has really been on top of this, and she's doing ATCs for each letter, and she's doing them all about zombies, and they're going to be for her next zombie journal. What I want to clarify is that if you do an ATC, not that A is for ATC, but you decide to do a tag with letter A. That does not mean you have to do a tag every day. You could do a tag today, an ATC tomorrow, a journal page the next day, a scrapbook layout the next day, make a card, doodle inside one, paint one. You can do something different every single day. You do not have to pick one thing and do that thing all month long. Just know that some people, if they're doing that, it's because they have a specific purpose in mind that they're going to use it. I never do that far ahead think with my creativity. So I don't know what they're going to be used for. So I'll have to think about each one as I do it. What do I want to do with this, and decide what I'm going to do with it. So post your pictures in the Facebook group and use the hashtag HPPAUGALPHA. HPP August Alpha. That's the hashtag. On the 31st, post a picture that shows all of there will be 25, the 25 letters. There'll be 26 because that's inclusive. So there will be 26 letters. Show one picture that shows all of your 26 things. Post that picture, and please don't forget the hashtag, because we are going to use that hashtag to pull for prizes. Hey, don't give up free prizes when they're offered. And if there's not dozens of people doing the challenge, you jump in. You got a good chance of winning, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Those prizes will be awarded on Monday Jumpstart on September 2nd, at Monday Jumpstart on September 2nd, which is Labor Day, and we will be here. So enough about that. I'm very excited tonight. Hi, Sarah. Sarah came in. Takes 15 minutes just to set up. I know, but some people can whip stuff out in 15 minutes. I can't. I take a little bit longer, and that's okay. Let's see here. Oh, Sarah, you just tried $1.99 and it didn't take? Oh, yeah, I don't see it up on the top. Where does it have? You might check it and just see if it has a message down there for you about why it didn't take. Maybe it needs to be clicked again. I don't know. But I want to introduce to you. You already know them, but Miss Dawn Marie, who's here with us up in that corner, and Miss Julia, who's up with us in that corner.
Hello.
They are both master collage Fodder users, and we are going to show you tonight. Okay, Monday Jumpstart, we made collage Fodder, mostly out of magazine pages. We showed you how to do that. If you weren't there or didn't see the replay or haven't seen that, go back and watch Monday Jumpstart. Just this past Monday, it was only an hour long, and learn how to make the collage Fodder. It is awesome. And you can use magazine pages. You can use watercolor paper that you have just put color down on. You can use book pages, music pages, map. Map is really cool. I love the look of the map on it. You can use gel prints. You can use offcuts and scraps from scrapbook paper. You can use any. I had some scraps of black sitting around, so grabbed a gold gel pen and made some out of gold gel pen on the black, so I can cut those out and use those. So I'm going to start here where the purchase is not going through. Oh, so sorry, Sarah. Well, that just bummer. There's a little thing by your name. I can't tell what that is. Not sure why. Is it a different payment method than you used before? And maybe it's not tied to YouTube? Aw, Christy, thank you. It is something, and it's a huge support, and we do appreciate it. It helps keep us going, helps, they say keep the lights on, but no, it helps keep the camera on, it helps keep the prizes coming, all that stuff. So I'm going to start and share with you a few things, and then we're going to go to Sylvia and DM, because they're going to each show you some different things than I'm going to talk about. So we made all this fodder on Monday, and we made a lot. We made leaves. We made all kinds of different flowers. We made mushrooms. We made foliage of all different types. We showed a bunch of different ways to draw them and make them super easy. So I want to share with you a couple of things. And the first one is how to elevate your collage fodder. A couple ways to elevate it. What does elevate mean? Just amp it up, make it a little more pronounced, give it a little more pizzazz, make it a little more poof, you know what Elevate is in your world. Using a metallic on it can elevate it. So that's one way. Another easy way, super easy way, is using lunar paste and or solar paste. So this is with solar paste. Yeah, not lunar paste. This is solar paste, actually, on black paper. And this was through a stencil. And then I just cut them out. And now I can use these as collage fodder. But they are so beautiful with the changing colors on there. And that, to me, is just, you know, a level above some of my other stuff. So if I want something really special, maybe I was making, oh, there you go, Margie, make it special. Yeah. If I was making a card for somebody, and I wanted to embellish it with one of these flowers from the fodder, maybe a metallic one might amp that up a bit and make it a little more special. So there is one way. Another way is stamping on them. And I am going to, let's see. So here's two that I just drew out. Didn't even have time to cut them out. But here's two mushrooms. And we'll look at how to take that mushroom from this to this, or to this, or to this, or to this. See all the different things on them that just kind of elevate them. And even this. This one I had already drawn all the dots on top, and I really didn't want to stamp over them. Besides, it would probably just end up a muddy mess. So I stamped, that was Tim Holt's Tiny Prints, I think it's called. They're just little tiny flowers. And I did it fairly lightly on the stem. So it just kind of accents that. You can also use script or text. There's some botanicals with text on it, and a mushroom with script. There's a larger flower. That was a watercolor one. And after I cut it out, I'm like, boy, there's no variation of color there. I didn't do a good job of getting a lot of, mix of colors in different places. It was just all one color. So needed to do something for that one. Here's a couple of others. Stamped with a variety of things. This works on any of them, any shape, any size, anyhow. I think one of my favorites has to be the leaves. And I will actually show you the stamp on these. I'm in love with what it does to these leaves. It is so cool. Check out these leaves. This one to me just looks crackled, and that one looks very much like a net. I also think that would make a really good mermaid scale kind of thing, mermaid tail. So it doesn't matter again how large or small they are. It works. It works on all of them. Oh, here, this is a very cool one too. That mushroom right there with the crackle. So, I mean, it's pretty easy how to stamp on it, but I'll show you just a couple of things. I only pulled out a couple of stamps. You can use any you want. I would recommend like background stamps or something with small print, unless you have a very large piece of fodder. Because if you have something fairly small and you have, see how this right here is a pretty big section hole right there? If that's how big the print was all over, there would only be a couple of lines and lots of holes. You need a lot of little small things in order to be able to see it. So that's okay, only because there's a lot of small things there. Here's how the netting is. And if it doesn't stamp clearly, let's see if we can get a focus all the way across, that's okay, because sometimes that faded out look is actually really cool. I don't worry about lining them up to make sure that the script is up and down or side to side. I actually think that they look way cooler when you let it be random. So this is a new stamp set from Stamperia. I can't tell you what it's called, but this is the netting you can see on top. And it's fatter up here, and then it gets like where the netting is squished together more down here. So they're smaller sizes. So if I'm doing a larger one, I can do it up on top. If I'm doing one of these teeny tiny mushrooms, I do it down here where they're much smaller holes in the netting. This one and all the others that had this type of print on it came from this one, which is also a brand new Stamperia stamp. And this is one of it's one of the Egyptian stamps. And it's like hieroglyphics on the wall, which looked cool. And this is the first time I've used them. So that actually, it looks really neat. I did not worry about lining it up. Again, having it go whatever direction really looks a whole lot better than trying to line it up to go up or down. There we go. We'll get a focus there. Just takes it a minute sometimes. Trying to move quickly, and so getting a lot of stuff up and down. So here, these are both done with the same crackle stamp. The difference is the one on the left already had the white dots painted on it. The one on the right did not, so they show through. But you can see how when there's something already on it, it makes it a little more muddled. Okay, here are some leaves, and I need some small leaves. I made a lot of really large leaves, and so I left the leaves together, stamped it, and then I can cut them out. It's a whole lot easier than trying to stamp the teeny weeny, itty bitty yellow leaves. So let me just show you, I'll use this one. I would recommend that you use archival ink. Definitely archival ink. You could use any color you want, but make sure as you do your color that you are paying attention to what it's going on. Is that color going to show? I like to look at what I'm going to stamp. Say I'll do this flower and choose where on here I'm going to, that I want it to be stamped. And honestly, sometimes on the flowers, I'll do a petal or two, turn it around and do a petal or two so that I can get the parts of the stamp that I want. And if the whole piece of fodder does not go on the stamp, it does not, then I really need to do that anyway. So I choose not to put them on a block and then stamp onto my item. I'm choosing where I'm going to put it right now. I am choosing to ink up my stamp and then place my piece of fodder on top of it. And I can just rub it as hard as I need to, as long as I need to, just hold it there to make sure that it has taken. I can also lift it up a bit just to see, yep, that's got a good impression. So I'll go on. So I like that spot. I like this spot because the holes are big enough to see. So I will go up here and I'll put some of the others on. And I just want to make sure that I get close enough to meet this so there's not a big gap. But the way these crackles are, if it overlaps, it's totally fine because they're overlapping all through the stamp. That's part of what makes this a perfect stamp to use because it's not something with perfect lines. It's a great background. Okay, got one petal left. And, you know, most of my things are not too large to go on there. They'll fit, the whole thing will fit down. So that's fine. But if I did want a specific part of the stamp on every bit of it, that's how I would do it. Just a petal or two at a time. So love that. Isn't that just way more elevated than the little flat one we had before? I mean, this is elevated because there's some doodling on it, a little bit of doodling. But then to add this just takes it up one more notch. Now I could take a cool black button and put it in the center, and that would look really neat. Let's move that over and that over. So an easy way to use them. And Sylvia and I are going to overlap a little bit on this. And I think it's okay because I know she does hers way different than I do. So one of the ways that I will use this fodder is in art journals. And so those of you the subscription box, got one of these teeny tiny 3-ring binders, which are awesome. I just clipped this open. Here's 2 pages that I just glued down scraps, collaged down scraps, just to cover the page. And then actually last night when I was playing with watercolored a little in wherever it was white. And they're just to be background pages until I feel like using them. And so I will create, whatever on there using collage fodder. Can decide what I want to use. Cute little mushrooms would be great on that. Maybe even a big mushroom. Didn't think ahead about that. Might have to think about that a minute. What do we want to put on that? You can put, now these flowers, when you draw the flowers, you can put stems on them if you want. Because I didn't, when I use that, I'll put that down and I will just draw in black marker the stem. However I want the stem. And so I can put the stem down and then I can add leaves. See, this is why I need small leaves. Even this tiny one is too big, but put some tiny little leaves on there. I like that. I will stamp on these 2 leaves before I put that down, but I'll glue it down. I will draw in a stem there. I'm going to stamp on both of these, and then I'm going to put those leaves right there and just glue them right onto the stem, right next to the stem. So you can imagine where the stem is going to go. And then I might put a little word down there, or maybe I'll take one of my teeny tiny mushrooms and put it down here near the base of the stem. So there's an idea for using them in your teeny tiny art journals. Art journals don't always have to be great big. This one is a little larger, and I didn't make a lot of really large items. And when I'm thinking about doing them in art journals, a lot of my art journals are large. And so I'm thinking I need to make some more big ones. So this one is large, is cool. Some, of the botanical, the foliage type things would be great on that. I do have this one that came off a piece of watercolor paper that I actually did the stem on. I think it's the only one I've got the stem on. So that might work there. And I just took a piece of, just before we went live, I grabbed a piece of an offcut of a gel print that had green and yellow in it. And I thought that will make some good grass. So I'm going to put that down right there. And I'm going to set them there. And then when we go on to the others to talk with them, I'm going to go ahead and glue them down. All right. And so then we've got leaves. We want leaves. So I've got some of these. I could do leaves like that. These are from a magazine page. These are from a watercolor page, but they sure look like they go together. But I could also do like this with the book page on it. And you can just play with it until you get something you like. You could put one on top of the other if they're the right size and mush them together. And then maybe I'll put a little mushroom down there and another even smaller mushroom right there. I'll adjust my leaves so they're not right on top of the mushrooms. And I'll make me a little art journal page there with that one there and that one there. And there's a great little art journal page that is all from my watercolor paper, my magazine fodder, and my gel prints. So great. It's a perfect little art journal. And remember, when you're doing art journal pages, you don't always have to complete them when you start them. Like, you may do backgrounds. You just feel like doing watercolor. I'll sit down and just feel like playing in watercolor, playing in paint, and make a bunch of backgrounds like this for things. And then they just sit here until I am then ready to do something else, like, collage something like this. So then I'll put that on. And then I'll come back another day and say, okay, I have an idea for something over here that would look cohesive. And then maybe I want to add a little more paint on it. And maybe I want to get some words on there. Do it as you're inspired to do it. It doesn't all have to be done, all done at once. So Christy has a question, which is how are you storing and organizing them? Do you just keep them all together or are you separating them by category? I will tell you how I'm doing it. And then I know that Sylvia is already planning to share with you how she's doing it. Hey, Casey, good to see you. So I have been storing them, well, actually 2 ways. And I moved everything off to the side so it's not here. Little tiny plastic containers, the little 4x6 iris containers. I think they originally call them 4x6 photo containers. I have like 100 of those, and I've been storing them in those. And I've just been putting like all flowers together, all mushrooms together, things like that. The more I get, the more I'm looking at it and thinking what would make the most sense for me to have them by color, to have them I'm not sure. I don't really think color because I like to be able to mix them all up. Here you've got something blue and something orange and yellow along with this. I wouldn't even know what color to put this in. It's got so many in it. So I'm not sure that would be a great idea. I do have all my gel print scraps and offcuts together in a container. I always keep my gel prints together because those are awesome. And I love using those with all kinds of things. So I don't know that that's a whole lot of help, but I do like keeping the foliage together, the flowers together. Now that I say that, I don't think I'll change that because when I'm looking for a piece of foliage, I'm looking for a piece of foliage. And I don't want to have to go through all the flowers to do that. In fact, that might be the right thing to add onto here is a piece of foliage. Somehow need to, look at that. Not another blue one. Maybe I continue it over here. Maybe I continue the grass over here and add some foliage, but maybe I could cut this off here and cut off one layer of these and make a much smaller foliage. So lots of things you can do with that. Could also turn one of these kind of things into a moon up there, or a sun. But Christy, so that's how I've got them stored right now in those containers, only in a couple of containers because they're flat paper. They don't take much space. I can get hundreds of them in one, but I've got flowers and foliage together because they still fit in one. If I get more than enough, I'll just put foliage and then flowers and then like mushrooms. And then we are going to be giving you some ideas of other things that you can make. So those other things I have in a separate one of their own. So I would encourage you to pull out an art journal, even if it's your little teeny tiny one, or if you have a little bit larger one, or the practice journal that we made and that we put on the rings. That is to test and try things on. So pull one of those out and you can put a piece of gel print or a piece of scrapbook paper or some paint on the background to get whatever background you like in color, and then just play with your collage fodder and create anything you like there. So Crafts, Creations, and More. Oh my gosh, I know who that is. I just drew a blank. I hate when that happens. It's embarrassing. Please tell me your name. Put me out of my misery. I know who that is. I know who it is. Sylvia, I'm going to go to you next to make you full screen here. And I'm also just to make sure we didn't miss any important chat, unless you guys were already watching chat. Let's see here.
Okay, so I'm in my my art journal. I would like to answer Christy's question about storage. Because I have been crafting for so many years, I have a pack of templates, what I call templates, and I have patterns, a file for patterns, and I also have a packet for journal fodder because I journal every day. I journal every day, not necessarily with these sizes. I make smaller things for my journal because I do write. So as far as storage, that's how I keep mine. I keep mine in files. So easy access, and I keep them separate so that I know what I don't divide them into botanicals or leaves or flowers or anything specific like that, because I don't keep a huge inventory. When I find pretty paper, that's when I attack it. So in my art journal for this, I like pretty paper, so that's what I usually collect. So I found this Tempest in purple, and it looked like a calla lily to me. So I cut it out. This was one of those sparklers for the 4th of July. I cut that out in a shape like a candle, I guess, or a candle flame. This is, again, one of those pretty papers that I cut out and I made the leaves from. And this is going to go on this page. And I also made a butterfly, and I outlined it in gold. It needs a lot more zhuzhing up. I can probably put some glitter dots or nouveau dots, or, just to zhuzh it up a little bit. So that's from my art journal, which comes in different sizes, but this one is the big one because I'm putting all the big ones down in this one. However, what I did for the smaller ones, I made a zine. And because we were doing ferns and mushrooms and stuff, I made a little zine. And this one's got the fern on the top. I'm going to have a tag here. I'll put some more mushrooms or ferns. This is a cutout from one of the boxes that I get for vegetables that I get delivered to my house. It's just a zine. I'll be sticking more stuff in here. It's a little flip out. And what is it that I'm going to be putting in here? This is another tag. So when you make your flowers, you can layer them up. This is cut out of cardstock, but you can use magazine the same way. Just use them up. So the hippy dippy flowers can also be, drop a center in them. And they're just, embellished a little bit more. My gel plates, same thing. I put a little dot in there, lifted it up, and I can always put some glitter. What's that called? The pin with the wink Stella. Wink of Stella. Yeah, you can put that around there just to douche it up. And then you can make your own flowers out of book pages and stick them in your journal. Write in your journal on the flower. You can, what is it? Free yourself. Live for today, or live in the moment. One of those things that you can just put into the corner of your journal. Now, these bigger flowers, you can put them on envelopes when you make a folio. You can use spirals. Don't limit yourself to flowers and butterflies. There's all kinds of your favorite shape. Mine's hearts. Of course, I don't have any to demonstrate because they're all in the journals. I will post later because I write, so I'm going to have to blank off some of the writing. But show you how every day I always, in one corner of my journal, I will doodle or cluster, build something, do something in my journal, whether it's magazine fodder or cardstock fodder. And here are my mushrooms. I haven't finished them. Marianne was showing off her mushrooms last night, so I wanted to show my mushrooms. And these have yet to be embellished, but yet they're going to go into this little zine. And again, layer them up and drop a little Brad in there. I always get the, I don't know what to do with what I have. Hey, scrapbook, build a cluster in the corner with your magazine fodder. You can use your leaves. I don't have, fortunately, the same colors, but what I'm saying is build a little cluster, put a little bling in there, and then a little sign for your scrapbook page, and you've got something that you can put in the corner, or adhere to a title or something like that along for your scrapbook page. The same thing can be done for a card. If you journal, use a book page and draw on, you can use this on the front of a card. So you're not limited. You just got to do it. Find the time, make the time to have fun. Just like Marianne was saying, she was playing with her watercolors. Just sit down and have fun. See what you can do in 15 minutes. And do the alphabet. I want to see you guys see what you're doing with the alphabet. But a zine is really easy to pull it off. What do you want to do with your journal? And then later on, I can give this to my neighbor. I always give to my neighbors, whether it's food or we share a lot. So neighbors, somebody that's sick, you're not limited. Just sit down and do it. Hi, Christy. Hi, Sarah. Where's Jen? Is Jen in?
No, she's not here.
No, Jen's not in.
Well. But Joanne's here, Lindy's here, Irma's here.
Irma, yes, of course. I keep forgetting to mention Irma.
Lindy just got here. Joanne just got here.
So next is
here. Love the scene.
Oh, Joanne. Oh, my goodness. Joanne, yes.
Wonderful ideas. She just threw out like 10 ideas right there. Clusters with brads in the middle. Some moving clusters that can be two different things. Putting them on envelopes, putting them in the corner of your daily journal. If you're making a junk journal, put them in the corner of the page just as a small embellishment. Put them on a pocket or a tuck spot in a journal. She just threw out so many things. Cut out of a book page or music page, and there's some print on it already. But if you take a colored pen or a marker and you write over the top of that, you can see over the book page or the music page. You can see right over that. So, and Casey's here also. I forgot to mention. Okay, so Dawn Marie, I'm going to wait just a second until you have a chance to move that off so they don't see that, because I know you want to start from scratch to show them the last thing. Dawn Marie is going to talk to us about using them as a silhouette.
Okay. So one of the things you can do, I don't know why I'm echoing. Is anybody else echoing?
Nope.
I don't have anything on. Okay. So one of the things you can do is if you do all of your things out of black paper, and yes, you can go ahead and draw on them. Or if you have some that are really good shapes from, say, a magazine or something, and you just spray paint them or put black on them, what you can do is this is done with a beautiful piece of paper and then some of your black paper here. And I use whatever I have for scraps. This is one of my things that I do to relax. And I don't draw them on first. What I do is I cut out grass by just going up and then staying really tight to the one you just cut. And then go over a little bit and do another grass that's not the same size. And it's really just cutting a bunch of grasses like this. But we're using the same shapes that we've been talking about. And eventually you will start to doodle and stuff on them. I always wait for last to do that. So there's a piece of grass. Now, you start doing this and you build it up with grass. Let's see, I can cut some more out really fast here. And grass really is just a bunch of cuts. I mean, even if you cut something off by mistake, you know, it's doesn't matter because they
sit together and glue it down.
Yep, just stick it together and glue it down. So you see, I've got all of this grass right here. And it can be big, it can be small. See, for instance, like this one is way too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull from here, cut a piece from there, stick it down. And grass doesn't grow all the same way, people. Nope, it goes all over the place. So make sure you put some in front.
And if you want to go the same way, you can.
If your grass,
it's your picture, you make it go any way you want.
True, but yeah, make your grass go whatever way your grass grows in your yard. If you have grass. So literally, it's just all tiny little scraps like this. So you have all of this grass here. Now, if you think about how Marianne told you to make a mushroom, you can either cut a mushroom out, which right here from what I've got, this is a great base for a huge mushroom. So I'm going to put that base there. And then, so a mushroom is just actually, mushroom is a tons of different.
So I'm getting that mushroom is just some big shape on top of some longer shape.
Yep. So that's a mushroom.
I love that.
And it's one of the things that I find when you're doing this is if you do happen to get to look at a mushroom first, or you go to find a book of mushrooms, it's pretty easy to see what you could make them look like too. And mushrooms are very organic. So if you, for instance, just want to rip them and make them look nice and organic, there's a mushroom. So you have this and you glue it all down and it makes a really pretty design. So then what you do now is you go back and you take and you pull white grass along where the black is to make it look more there. And you can also put colors in. Yeah, all of my pens are downstairs, and I should have grabbed my white pen. But from here is where I start to add on. Like I would add some color, even though that's not what a silhouette does. But you could add in some funky colors into the black.
On using metallic markers would be cool.
Metallic markers. So while everybody was working, I have brought this one. This is my big graphic. I have been doing this one. And you can see that I made a tree, and that one all is torn, 100% torn. I was trying to make an owl. People don't look at him. He's awful right now. And then I took out a circle, and I literally took the hole punch and just made these things to make it look like the moon. I know it looks like a face. Here, both ripped and cut grass. And then I have a cluster of 4 mushrooms here, and I plan on putting some more there. But right here is my little owl that I'm trying to do by thought. And I know he should have like ears sticking up or something like that, but some of them have round heads. So he's going to go there. And this would make something great that really it's using all those little tiny skinny things that you cut from when you're cutting things, cutting things out.
Mm-hmm.
I may put a flower coming out of this, up here, or if you take your hole punch and cut out a bunch of cut out a bunch of browns and see, those can be little flowers on your and just let them drop where you want them. Those can be little tiny flowers on your grass, because pampas grass has those little tiny flowerets at the top. So you could put a cluster of circles to make the pampas grass. And one thing you need to remember is that your eye and your brain does a lot of work for you. Things don't really need to connect because your eye is naturally going to connect them. So even all of these right here, they're not really connected, but they're all in there, and you're going to think that is the top of a pampas grass. And then I'll go back on this one and I'll probably put some silver on the moon, and I'll put some more dots on the pampas grass. I don't really know what these dark heavy ones are. Maybe it's driftwood. But this is a great thing to just do in an art journal, see what you can do with pieces of small things that you have, and then just throw them on a piece of paper and make them into something that makes like a landscape.
Very cool. So even your fodder can even be cut out of or torn out of solid colored paper to make a very cool scene. And I love the color behind it. It just really looks like an awesome Halloween night.
Yep, that's the pack that I got from you, the Craft Consortium ombre pack.
Love that one. They think it needs a black cat.
I will try to get a black cat on here. My owl isn't working out. I can probably do a black cat.
Well, like you said, the eye fills in what it needs, and the owl's wings were down there, its head was there, its body was there. I could tell it was an owl. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. So, looked just fine to me. Christy had another great idea, and that is using ugly, air quotes, scrapbook paper to cut out collage fodder. Use it just like a magazine page. Just set it down and draw on it. So the thing is if you've got it, you probably somewhat like the colors because you've got it, but you haven't used it yet. A lot of times we are drawn to colors, but maybe we don't like the print or the design on it, or it's just never going to work with any of the things that we make. That's the perfect thing, especially if you like the color, because you can use it in like an art journal or, a layout or something, use it in a regular journal and enjoy it. And when I say ugly scrapbook paper, I always use air quotes because ugly, by our HPP definition, ugly just means paper that you haven't used and you're not going to use. It's not fitting in with what you do. And so you need, it's ugly. It's not working. So that doesn't mean that it's actually ugly paper, because honestly, if it was ugly, you probably wouldn't have gotten it to begin with, right? And what one person thinks is ugly, another one does not. So honestly, I don't think any of the paper, any of it is ugly. Everything, all paper is beautiful, like all art. It's just different. So, but if it's something that you're not going to use, haven't used, cut it up. You can even turn it over to the back if it's a solid color, if it's white on the back, and you could draw all the things that you want and cut them out and then turn it over and see what print you've got on the actual thing there. Another idea that Sylvia keeps bringing up that I forgot to mention, and she is dead on. If you want some more things to draw, you're tired of drawing flowers and the mushrooms and need more things, we're going to bring you some more things. However, you probably have 30, 50, 100, 1,000 dies in your stash, in your craft room. You can take any die that you have, and you don't have to run it through the die cutter. You can, but you can take that die and you can lay it down wherever you want on your piece of watercolor paper, on your piece of magazine, so that you get exactly the colors you want, or on your gel prints, whatever that is, and just outline around the die and then cut it out. And there you go. And if you outline around it, then you can cut it out outside of your outline. If you like to have, I like to have this color outside of the outline. I just like the look. I think it makes it look more like it's hand drawn, and it's just a cool look. So if you outline it with your marker or a pen or even a pencil, because you can go back and do it again, then when you cut it out, you can cut it wherever you want to, on the line or outside of the line. But that's a great, really great idea, because I know we all have dies, and some of them probably have never used. Some you haven't used in years. Some you really like. You just need a way to use them. So create all kinds of shapes, animals, buildings, birds, all different kinds of birds, butterflies, bees, feathers. Ooh, look at Sylvia. Hang on. I'm going to go back here because she has now added some of those things to the zine. Ooh, that's pretty.
I just added the spiral. I still have room to write. I can even write inside the leaves, or I can embellish the leaves.
I like
There's
that.
my mushrooms.
Right?
Here's a little flip out again. And I've got a room for tags, and then a little ivy, and then a mushroom on the back.
Oh,
and
cute.
then I can just embellish the tags also. I've got more leaves to put on, but there's a zine.
That is super cute. And you still have room to write on it. I love the idea of the ivy along. You know, it's
the extra leaves
vein with just a few leaves here and there. I love that. I hadn't even thought of doing ivy. That's a really, and you could just put the leaves down and then draw the vine between them, right? If
That's
you had
exactly what I did.
Oh, and see, it looks like they're all cut out together. But if you had extra leaves in it, just cut draw the vine.
Yeah, exactly.
You can draw a squiggly line.
And you can do
everybody who says I can't draw a straight line. Here's the reason you're glad you can't draw a straight line, because you don't want it straight.
And you can do the same thing in your journals.
That's awesome. Margie says she likes punches. I love that idea too. How many of you have 50, 100 punches? Yeah, 20 punches. And they're all different shapes, different things. I've got a punch that is the shape of the United States, like the map. And
your chipboards.
You could trace around dies onto chipboard and make a template. But then you take out, she's taking her chipboard die cuts that you get from different companies. Take the chipboard die cut, set that down and draw around it. And you've got a perfect template to make your own collage fodder. Love that.
Yep.
Love, love, love.
And for those of us that can't draw clouds, I can't draw clouds. There's a cloud.
There you go. There's a cloud.
You're not limited. You've got an inventory of stuff. Just
it's the things that seem the easiest that we have a hard time with, right? Like clouds. Trees.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to them about trees. Sylvia always says a tree is just something tall and thin with something on top.
Goes back to what DM was saying. It goes back to what DM was saying, that our eyes help us identify things. Why is it that a triangle
with rounded corners?
Why is it that a triangle with a rectangle at the bottom looks like a Christmas tree?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because we want it to.
You know, it's the commonality of the shape that our brain will tell us what it is. So, okay, this is a tree. You round it, bring that up a little bit, add the little stem for the mushroom, and now it's rounded a little bit, and now it's a mushroom instead of a tree.
Love it.
It's the same thing. Sorry about the mess down here, but you get the premise. It goes back to what DM was saying. Your brain works for you. Your brain works for you. It helps to identify shapes.
So that shape that you just drew, you could make it into a mushroom. You could turn it into a bell. You could turn it into a Christmas tree.
Yep, exactly.
So if you look at all the children's books, there will be like this brown trunk that just kind of comes straight down, flares at the bottom. And then there's this big bubble like flowery thing around. And that's the top of the tree. And that represents all the fluff of the tree. We can do that.
Yep.
And my dad always said, a tree is just a bunch of check marks.
Yep.
And I don't quite understand that, because in my mind I'm seeing a painting and it's a little farther away, and so the check marks make for the little trees back there. But is that not how that is meant?
So a tree is a bunch of check marks. Let me get my white paper here. The thing.
So you can draw an oval.
Okay.
There's a tree.
Right.
If you can draw a cloud, which I'm not good at,
There you
there's
go.
another
That's
tree.
a perfect cloud, which is also a tree.
And
Okay.
then if you can do something like the Christmas tree, it's the same thing. Like you get my drift here. I'm drawing sideways. I'm not doing it good enough.
A little hard to
But
do.
your brain helps you with.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. That's a tree. This is a tree. This is a tree. I mean, and you know what? This can be a tree too.
Yep. Love it.
Add the circle around that, and that's a tree.
Yeah.
It gets back to who told you couldn't draw, because
Right.
every child goes to kindergarten. Everybody's given paper, and they give you paint, and you are allowed to use your fingers and do all kinds of scribbles. You took it home to your mom, and your mom said, "That's awesome," but somebody told you can't draw, whether it's yourself or somebody. But you really need
goodness.
to. I mean,
The check
this is what we do for fun.
Yes.
Fun.
Allow yourself the freedom to do it for fun.
Absolutely.
I suddenly get the check marks, and I love that.
Yeah.
Much more intricate tree. If you're drawing it
and it's just where you put them, and because
the check marks.
Yeah. And it's just
exactly.
You just start splitting them off.
The check mark splits the branches. I got it.
The check mark splits the branches.
I thought it meant like every check mark is a tree.
No.
I get it now.
No. I knew what.
I mean, and that is really fast.
I knew what DM meant.
Yeah, and then you could glue your own collage fodder leaves on it.
Fast,
right? Exactly.
Little bird.
Yes.
We'll give you how to draw. You both can probably do that right off the top. But the shapes to draw a bird, like a round with the thing at the head, and then the thing at the tail. A bird is super easy.
Depends on how you want the bird to look like.
Okay, pick one, and give them. Here's how you could draw a bird. Like just with shapes, you need this shape for the body, this shape for the head.
So you make a canoe.
Okay.
And you put a circle at the top.
There's your head.
And then you put little feet.
Little feet, little leggies.
And then you put a little beak.
A beak. Okay.
That's like the first bird I learned. And then you can put your just add the wing.
Cool. Where did my pin go? I thought I said right there.
A bird sitting up.
There we go. Oh, there you go. So Sylvia, yours is a little bit different. You did an egg shape, just a round. I'm sorry, that would be an oval.
Yep.
An oval with a circle for the head. You can make a little triangle for the beak, a little rectangle coming out as the tail, a straight line for the top of the feather, and just a little squiggly underneath it. For the feather, for the wing. Straight line for the wing and a little squiggly underneath it for the bottom of the wing.
Yep.
Easy enough.
Nothing to it.
Now you're getting more complicated, DM. We're talking about people. Yes. Basic shape drawing that we can do collage fodder. For those of us who have not gone to art class, that feels a little more complicated.
It really isn't as difficult as you think. You put a wing on. A wing
it's not.
Is what?
It's not.
The wing is.
And you can Google how to draw a bird.
Right. And then you're going to go down like this, and you're going to put a head on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to take the body, and you're going to go down and still make that canoe. You're going to bring it up just a little bit more to make the tail.
Okay.
You're going to come back down and connect it just the opposite side of that.
Okay.
The next thing you do is you have to make the second wing. So you just do the same shape, but it's behind, right?
Okay, right.
Okay. Then you add a beak, and you put his little legs going backwards, because that will mean that he's flying. So
when you break it down like that, that's pretty easy. When we just look at it and we think, oh my goodness, look at all the things, the shapes and the directions and things you've drawn. Those of us who don't have that training can get overwhelmed pretty easy.
Right. And then what you go from there is if you want to make the wings have, feathers, you go like that. And those are their feathers. There's usually a bone in
Hey,
there.
all you grandmas out there, go sit down with your grandkids and have them draw you a bird and watch.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how a child just goes and does it.
And
It's
that's
the
how
same
we should
thing.
learn how
Let
to do it
yourself
with
go.
collage fodder. Yeah, super easy.
And stop with the, see, you're making it a little bit more intricate. No, it's not intricate. It's just
The
little
chat
bit.
is
It's
You
just,
can add more
it's just
detail.
adding the little things to it. Just make a basic
Right.
shape
Yeah,
and then add
exactly.
to it.
Exactly.
Bats.
Exactly.
I married a rat, but I divorced him. I'm following chat. They're getting quite humorous.
A bat.
Good.
A bat is super easy.
Can you show
That's
us an
what
easy
we're
bat?
about.
Yeah.
Okay.
You make a round.
Round
You put
circle. Okay. And then 2
you
ears.
put 2 ears on it. You swipe out the arms, right? Because he's flying.
Okay.
And then you go down, down, circle up. And then you go down, 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 circle up. One side is always longer than the other. And that's a bat.
Circle. I got.
And that's really,
2 little ears up here.
mm-hmm.
1, 2. Okay. Mine are probably a little too close together, but okay. Straight out here.
And you can make the head that looks more like an oval. You can make it round. If you make it oval, you can attach the ears from it. And that actually looks more like a bat. And it doesn't have to be straight.
Over-dramatize it. Add some teeth. Add some
Yeah.
blood dripping out of the teeth.
And
Oh, that's
if you want to
awesome.
make the body, see how I just turned it the opposite way? But I always do start the wings over on this side too, so I can make, because really they have little paws that come out like that. And that literally,
they're so cute.
The bats are cute. Is that what you said, Sylvia? They're cute as long as they keep their germs away.
Well, from a very tropical,
and remember how I
very
said,
tropical area, and
right.
we always have bats in the house.
There's
you
my
don't
bat.
have to connect to things. That makes it look like the skeleton in it.
That makes it look like his whole body as he's flying.
Right. And then they have little tiny.
That makes it look like Batman.
And that,
Casey,
ladies and gentlemen, is your art lesson brought to you by HPP. Thank you very much.
They're saying now it's getting too
99 cents.
difficult, sticking with the basics, sticking with the stick figures.
Yes,
Another day, another time.
fine.
Stick figures
Stick
are great.
figures are fine. Yes.
So it is 7 o'clock. So we have used our hour on how to use collage fodder. We hope that you have a couple of ideas of things that you could do with your collage fodder, as simple as an art journal page, whether a large one or a small one, as detailed as the silhouette, which is a really cool idea to do on an art journal page. Decorating something like the zine and your daily journal and all the ideas that Sylvia threw out. I hope that you guys do take some of those and start using your collage fodder. Don't just make a bunch of it and let it sit away, because it'll just sit there and take up space in your room. Use it, because here's the thing with collage fodder. You will never, ever, ever run out or have to purchase things to make collage fodder with. There will always be a magazine. There will always be a book page. There will always be offcuts from scrapbook paper. There will always be an ugly piece of scrapbook paper that you don't want to use, whatever it is. So use them. Maps, music pages, just use them. Make collage fodder. Use it so that you have room to make more. You don't want to just make it and store it. Let's use what we make. So with that being said, we will Sarah, thank you at $1.99. We appreciate you. Wow, she must have spent the entire hour trying to figure out how to get that in there. Aww.
Pay for her art lesson. Way to go, Sarah. Love you.
I'm going to send something special to Sarah and Christy and Margie, who all three contributed tonight through Super Chat. So I'm going to send something to all of you. And may I please remind you to check the link in the description box for our membership club. I am planning right now, which will be in the next week or so, the first private live Laugh and Craft with the membership club only, and the first private clearance sale for the membership club only. That's, among other things that we're going to do. And I'm planning that. I haven't got the date scheduled yet. I'm waiting on a couple of other things that need to be scheduled in there. But we're going to have those within the next week or so. And you will need to be a member before the date and time that happens. You don't want to miss out. Those are our most fun events, is when we just hang out together and have a private Laugh and Craft where we know it's not public to the whole world. It's a little more intimate, and we enjoy that a lot. Tried to do it on our iPhone. New iPad wouldn't go. Oh, your new iPad may not have all those settings set up
Right.
yet.
You need to put those in.
That makes sense, Sarah. Good thinking. All right. Thanks, guys. We will see you in the group. Be sure to post your pictures of the things that you do with your collage fodder. Can't wait to see. Christy, you can join at any time. Yes, and the link is in the description box. I'll continue putting it in the description box. So if it doesn't show up when you go to YouTube, you can use this link, because tech support at YouTube told me that it doesn't show up on all devices. So if it doesn't show up on your device, try a computer. If it doesn't show up on a computer, just use this link, and this link will take you straight in. Glynis jumped in there with a super chat also. Thank you, Glynis. Look at that support. She's also in the membership club. I'm really excited to get that going and have some private events with you guys. Good night, peeps. Casey said, appreciate it. Laugh and Craft after dark. That's right. That is right. Christy, when is the wedding, by the way? In my mind, it was the very end of July. I could be wrong, and maybe it's September. Is it September? Did I have July on the brain for something else?
It's around the time, I think, that the retreat was supposed to be, which is why she couldn't go.
Could have been right before retreat.
Or right after or during.
Yeah. She'll put it in there. Anyway, okay, guys, we'll see you in the group. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.